to you wherever you are. It's always a joy and a pleasure to be bringing this message of self realization to you, encouraging you to look within yourself for the answers of life. And today we're gonna speak about the mind, how important it is that you learn how to rearrange your mind for greatness. In other words, you would definitely like to live the best version of your life on this planet. Everyone on this planet would like to discover the best version of themselves. Well, there are infinite states of consciousness, states of mind. These mental states, they're everywhere. And what state you fall in, that can become your everyday experience, unless you change the effects or circumstances that you're getting in your life by rearranging your mindset. And that is why I'm speaking to you about how you should go about rearranging your mindset so that you will win in life, so that you will attract the right things in your life. For example, if you grow up in an environment where lack and scarcity has always been the conversation, and you're hearing your folks saying things like water more than flour, and they're saying negative things about people who are rich and people who have more than enough, most likely you will find yourself speaking just like you would have heard your parents speak, and so on, because at that very young age where you was growing up and you was listening to their conversation, that was a part of your programming. Okay? And so our environment have a lot to do with our mindset. And if you go back to your time as a child, by looking at the life of a child, you'd see that there is a time in the life of a child where the child is only repeating everything that he or she hears his parents whatever influences in their surrounding, they would reciprocate back that same kind of thing that's been given out in their environment. And so you're told that you must train up a child in a certain way, that when they become older they wouldn't depart from that way. Well, I'm saying to you, if you train your mind a certain way, for example, if you train your mind to believe that you're rich and abundant, if you train your mind to see yourself living in a certain area, in a certain home, driving a certain automobile, running a certain business or doing a certain job, dressing a certain way, having friends with certain people, all of these things would become a part of the blueprint that you have for your life. And because you have that blueprint for your life and you start to take action, things will start forming and shaping itself to become your reality. But at the time when that is happening, you wouldn't see it. But you would have already set it in motion, because you're working with an infinite divine law. But most people are not aware of this infinite divine law that they are working with. And so they allow doubt to step in, fear and guilt, shame and condemnation, because they have the wrong concept of themselves. But as long as you understand that you could rearrange your mind, and based on how you rearrange your mind, it would mean the result that you would get. It means that the man who started with nothing and became a millionaire, he had a blueprint of a millionaire in his mind, which means he had a millionaire mindset. But that millionaire mindset was in secret because he kept it to himself while he was taking action based on the desires that he had in life. So, my brother and my sisters, understanding how your mind works and knowing that your mind is your power and that there's no other power on this planet but mind power. And you start to utilize the power of your mind by practicing to use your mind daily. Just as someone would go on a playing field and they practice to play the game that they're interested in. So let's say they're interested in soccer. They go to the playing field and they practice the game of soccer. Someone who like to play the game of chess, they will frequently go and practice to play the game of chess. So everything comes by practice. So if you're going to rearrange your mind to get a different circumstances, to get different circumstances in life, to get different results in life, of course, there are things you will have to do, which means it takes discipline for you to rearrange your mindset to have and be and do the things that you like to have and be and do in this world. So, my brother and my sisters, doing daily visualization is a part of practicing to rearrange your mind. Practicing daily meditation is a part of you rearranging your mindset. So you will discover the greatness that is within you. You being grateful every day of your life. You awake with thanksgiving. And the last thing you do before you go to bed at night, you fall asleep with a mindset of thanksgiving. And you're giving thanks for things that you haven't seen as yet. But because you believe in the inner science of alchemy, whereby your energy can be transmuted into your reality, and you walk from the invisible realm, the realm of the mind, the realm of thoughts, and you believe so much in yourself that you put your desires out into the universe, and you know that the universe is going to answer you. That's the kind of mindset you have to have, knowing that there's definitely a lot of certainty. And as long as you walk along with that lot of certainty, it would release a feeling or an impression upon your subconscious mind. And because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference, that impression that you place upon your subconscious mind, it would impress your subconscious mind. And whatever feeling you really impress your subconscious mind with, that is the result you will get in life. That is how easy it is for you to get different results in your life. For example, if you want to change your bank account, the look of your bank account, you can do it. As long as you know what you want or how much you want, and you be definite about what you want, and you believe in your higher self, which is your God self, your innovative, your creative self, and you go into visualization or meditation, Or if you choose to do scripting, if you choose to do journaling, if you choose to do mirror work, if you choose to use affirmation, whatever ritual you choose to use, you're actually walking by a science. And this science is sure. And you have to understand, things may tarry, but though it tarry, you must wait for it. Because you're working with divine infinite laws. For example, the farmer, he doesn't ponder about the seed that he's going to sow. He knows that there's an infinite divine law whereby whatsoever he sow, that is what he's going to reap. Because he look at nature and he sees that the sun always provides the energy that the plants need. He look at nature and he sees that the earth has all the nutrients that the seed needs to go through the process of death, burial, and resurrection. Which means something got to die in that seed before it can bring forth in abundance. So to something in you must die if you're gonna rearrange your mind to win. And what must die? The ego self must die. All of your limiting beliefs that have been passed down to you, all of your doubts and your fears, all of the conformity, the things that you would have conformed to from since you were a little child, the things that you never questioned, all these things would be there as distractions to hurt you and to keep you from believing in yourself the way you should believe in yourself. So everything that's been inflicted upon you, it came from self. You're inflicting wounds on yourself because of your mindset. That is why the book of mind science, which we refer to as the Bible, it tells you that you must not be conformed, but you must be transformed. How? There's only one way you can transform your life, is by the renewing, the rearranging of your mind. There's no other way. You see, everything in this world, it was first mental, it was first psychological. It had to first be a thought, it had to first be an idea. And I would never stray away from this kind of teaching. It doesn't matter how much time you hear this teaching. You do not know it until you practice it and prove it in your life. You see, many people fooling themselves saying, well, I have that knowledge, I know that knowledge, I got that knowledge, I hold that knowledge somewhere. That is not power. It's only applied knowledge that gives you the result, will put you in a place of wisdom and understanding. That is only when you will become a wise person. A wise person is a person of action. A wise person is a person with a plan. You can't build a building without a plan. It is not allowed in certain countries to build buildings without a plan. You must have a plan. And they must give you license to build based on the plan. Your plan must have some form of safety measures with it. So too with your life. Whatever plan you have for your life, I'm saying to you that the answer lies within you. Everything is downloaded in your consciousness, your awareness. And all you have to do is cultivate that mindset. And that mindset will put you in that place. For example, if we look at a great boxer, or a great basketball player, or some great sportsman, or some great entertainer, you will see that they had to cultivate a certain mindset, though they had a gift. They had to cultivate a certain mindset, and they had to instill certain disciplines in their life in order to become a winner, in order to become one of the great. in order to leave a great legacy and to be a legend, they had to practice their craft. They had to believe in themselves. They had to embrace themselves. They had to believe that they could do it in spite of the things around them that was saying that they couldn't do it. They had to believe. That's what I'm saying to you, my brother, my sisters. Never give up in life. Doesn't matter what the challenges may be. Never, ever give up in life. Never give up on the things that you're doing that is being impactful in other people's lives. For example, we live in an age of technology. We live in an age where social media give every one of us a platform to share our philosophies. And I'm saying to you that you have so many different choices to choose from, that if you right now are listening to me, it means that you're on a certain level of vibration and frequency. Because I can guarantee you there are thousands upon thousands of people right now, as I'm speaking to you, who are looking at their favorite sportsmen and women, while these sportsmen and women are accomplishing their goals and their dreams. And I'm here seated telling you how you should go about accomplishing your goals and your dreams by learning to rearrange your mindset. Take a look at your mind. Take a look at the things that you're feasting upon. Whether you're feasting upon them by way of looking at them or listening to them. How do you spend your time? Who do you give your energy to? There's some people who follow every celebrity gossip and they give their power away. But remember, your mind is your business. That is why you're told to mind your business. It means that when you realize that your business is your mind, you'll utilize your mind in the best possible way to give you the best outcomes or results in life. In other words, you want to live the best version of your life. And in order to live the best version of your life on this planet, you definitely have to rearrange your mindset. Because not every one of us grew up in a certain household or a certain environment where certain knowledge has been easily passed down to us. Like, for example, financial literacy is in scarcity based on your society that you grew up in. Okay? So if there's no one who have set the example for you to look at, it's very hard for you to cultivate the discipline and the habits that needed. But I'm saying start by taking responsibility for your mind. Start by taking accountability for your thoughts and your actions. Because whether you believe it or not, thoughts become things. And we become what we think about most of the time. So how you spend your time and the things that you give more attention to, you would realize wherever your attention go, energy will flow where your attention goes. And so when you understand energy, vibration, and frequency, you understand that your mind operates based on energy, our vitality, life. And this life, it vibrates, nothing rests. And it vibrates on a certain frequency. Therefore, you have to match the frequency of that which you desire to become your reality. So, if you're doing a job whereby you're only earning, say, $50,000 a year, but you want to do a job where you're earning $100,000 a year or $150,000 a year, or if you would like to earn $250,000 a year, you have to shift your mind and arrange your mind in a certain way to attract that level of frequency, which means you have to match that frequency. that will communicate to you how to make this a reality in your life, earning this $250,000 a year. Is a shift of mindset. For example, the man who have been earning say $30,000 a year but now earning $300,000 a year, it was a shift that took place in his mind. Whether he would have done it consciously or unconsciously, it was a shift. But I'm saying you could deliberately cultivate a shift in your life if you could only cultivate the feeling and live in the feeling that which you desire is already accomplished in this physical three-dimensional world. You have nothing to lose if you find a quiet place where you can sit and you can concentrate and you can close your eyes and go into visualization. And every one of us knows what it's like to look at a movie. But it just means that in this movie, that you are the director and you are the producer and you are the star in your own movie. And you're looking on the screen of life, whereby you choose whichever script you want in your life. And you act out that script in your life in the present tense, knowing that there's only now. There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow, there's only now. See yourself being and doing and having that which you desire now, in the now. Don't try to think and imagine yourself going from one stage to the next. No, just put yourself in that state right away. Forget about the in-between. Forget about the series of events. Sometimes people allow their minds to be taken up about this series of events that will take place in their life to make their dream become their reality. That is you getting in the way. That is you being like an obstacle in the way and blocking your blessing. You have to remove yourself out of the way and go straight to the end, because there is only now. If as I said earlier, if you just amassing a certain amount of money per year, but you want to double it or you want to triple it, you have to go straight to you already tripling it and you seeing the lifestyle that you're living while you already triple that. There's a certain lifestyle that must go with it. There's certain places you must go and see yourself there. So you acting out this movie knowing that there's a lot of gestation, but you're walking with law and order, and the law and order that you're walking with is already here in this universe. You can see it through nature. Once you plant pumpkin, you cannot reap watermelon. You sow in a pumpkin seed, and in that pumpkin seed is the pumpkin life. In that pumpkin life is all of the DNA that is in that seed that will give you no other life but pumpkin life, because it's a pumpkin seed. If you cultivate the same thing, psychologically speaking, and you set your mind towards a certain accomplishment, why are you going to stop to think about how or when it's going to be done? That's not your business. You're not supposed to try to figure that out. When the farmer plants the seed, he doesn't go back every day and try to dig up the seed to see if the seed is growing. He knows that the seed is growing because he knows that he's walking with a law, an infinite divine law. When the fisherman goes out to fish, All that is on his mind is fish. All he's saying and thinking about is fish. Because out in the sea, he expects to get fish. Because there's abundance of fishes in the sea. Well, you are living in an abundant world. And if you cannot see abundance, you will never be able to attract abundance. You can't want to have abundance while you having a lack and scarcity mindset. It don't work. So sometimes people say law of attraction don't work. They say manifestation don't work. They say the law of assumption don't work. They say new thought don't work. They say all of these things are just new age bullshit and so on. And they dismiss everything because they were not disciplined enough. Because they were not patient enough. Because they did not trust the science enough. Which means they did not trust and believe in themselves just as they are. And they were looking for these things on the outside to complete them. Instead of they feel complete, knowing that they are the cause of everything in their life. And so they didn't really rearrange their minds. So unless you really rearrange your mind, your results are not going to change. So my brother, my sister, you can change the results you're getting in your life by rearranging your mind. That's all it takes. A rearranging of the mind. And you get the different results in your life. Okay? To all those people who have tuned in, I really want to thank you very much for tuning in. And I want to encourage you to always write down the things that you desire. Make sure you write it down. And make sure that you find a quiet place where you can close your eyes and visualize. For example, I remember every night before I go to bed, I would imagine myself counting money that belongs to me, not someone else. And I would count money in my imagination and fall asleep doing so, having the desire that these money will come to me with integrity. And that is what has been happening to me, because I do the exercise and I never allow the exercise to take me over or to control me. I did it and then I dropped it. Just like you take a seed and you plant the seed in the earth and you leave it. That's what I did. Okay? And from me doing those exercises, I've been counting money daily. Money that belongs to me. You can do the same. Okay? Most of the time, it is always better that you see yourself providing a service. Okay? You see, most of the time people try to attract money in their life without seeing themselves giving a service or providing value. You have to understand how the law works. Whatsoever you sow, that's what you would reap. So if you want to reap value, you definitely have to sow value. The more value you give out, is the more value going to come back to you. For example, the man who would invest, say, $1 million in shares, say he buys shares in a company, he might be taking a risk. But in everything in life, you have to take risk. And so sometimes, it might need you taking risk. And some people are not willing to take the risk. I remember when I was doing a regular 9 to 5, working at the post office as a postal worker. And I sit down and I think about the different possibilities if I leave my job. the other opportunities and how great they are. I was willing to leave the job, not knowing where I'm going, but I had a plan. And though it took me a lot of years before I could see the things that I'm seeing in my life now, I realized if I didn't take that risk and make that first step and leave the job, I would not have reached to a place where I have more control over my time. I would have never reached the place of ever employing someone. Because if you never see yourself being an employer while you are actually an employee, you will never vibrate out of the employee mentality. But if you want to vibrate out of the employee mentality while you are an employee, you have to see yourself as an employer and work towards becoming an employer, and you would have to take certain steps, which means you have to take risks. So my brothers and my sisters, you have to sacrifice something to sit and listen to me speaking to you. You have to sacrifice something. And one of the hardest things right now for people to sacrifice is quality time, to listen to quality information given to them on the internet, because there's so many different distractions and there's so many different voices, and so there's so many different people saying so many different things that many people could become confused. But I am saying, if you learn to believe in yourself and you decide to rearrange your mind based on what you want in life, and you're disciplined enough to always write down what you want, and you're disciplined enough to read that which you desire over and over again in the morning and in the night, and you cultivate that feeling that it is so. But as you cultivate the feeling that it is so, you're not looking for the result to make you feel good. No, you already feel good about your life. You already feel good that you discover this truth. You already feel good that you have nothing to worry about. All you have to do is experiment with these things, and you experiment with them and leave them. Don't take life too serious. That's why something have to do things with fun. Have fun doing certain things. And I can guarantee you, when the result comes, sometimes you don't even realize the result have already taken place in your life. But you can look back now and see where you were 3 years ago or 5 years ago, and you see yourself in a far much better place than where you were 5 years ago. Okay? So my brothers and my sisters, walk with what is working for you. And I can guarantee you that it wasn't until I had a shift in my life by rearranging my mind that I saw different results in my life. Okay? So as I come to a close here, I want to say to you, if you grew up in a society whereby you've been told to look on the outside for a savior to come and save you, and to go on your knees and pray to a Lord, a God, a savior on the outside to come and save you, I want to say to you, I tried that. I tried for many years. But not until I learned about self-realization through my awakening experience, and I learned to think outside of the box and accept the fact that the secret of the universe is based on energy, vibration, and frequency. And I started to put energy, vibration, and frequency to work. That is when I start to see results. When I accept my mind power and I start to use my mind power to achieve my every desire, and I stop looking for outside Lord and Savior and Master, that's when I saw the change in my life. So no one could come and tell me anything otherwise, because I went on both sides already. I went on the side of praying and begging and beseeching, and then I went on the side of appropriating my life whichever way I want it to be, because I take the responsibility that it is my own thoughts that is creating my reality and creating my personality. I accept the fact that as a man thinketh in his heart, I accept the fact that his heart is speaking about his invisible self, the place of awareness, the place of consciousness. From that place, as he thinks from that place, so shall it be established in this physical three-dimensional world. I accept that. I was honest with myself. I was honest when I accept the fact that I was losing and I need to win. And that I'm supposed to cultivate the mindset of a winner if I wanted to win. Then when I started to cultivate the mindset of a winner by getting rid of all my religious and superstitious limiting beliefs and get rid of all the things that the system impress upon my subconscious mind as a child. When I do that, I see the change in my life. That's why I decide I'm going to teach this truth of self-realization till the day I leave this planet. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to teach this truth. That imagination creates reality. I'm going to teach this truth that thoughts become things. I'm going to teach this truth that we become what we think about most of the time, what we focus upon. I will teach that you have to learn to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind. I will always teach that there is a conscious and a subconscious mind. And whatsoever you impress upon your subconscious mind, it would definitely become a hard and objective fact in your physical reality. So my brothers and my sisters, as I come to a close here, the main thing I want you to take away from what I'm saying is that you are a divine being. And your real identity, get this? Your real identity is your divinity. Therefore, do things from the divine way. Do things from the divine way, the infinite way, to give you the result in the finite way. In other words, in this physical three-dimensional wall of matter, it is mind over matter. You can't contact spirit without your mental power. Okay, so draw from the spiritual world by using your mental powers. There's no other power that anyone else could use in this world. Every great inventor, they use mind power. Every rich man on this planet, they use mind power. There's no other power but mind power. Einstein used mind power. Nikola Tesla used mind power. Elon Musk used mind power. Jeff Bezos used mind power. Bill Gates used mind power. The king in England, mind power. The queen in England, mind power. You name it, mind power. JP Morgan, mind power. You name anyone, any part of the world where they use mind power. They use mind power to achieve their every desire. That's why my brother and my sister, I'm saying, rearrange your mind for greatness and live the best version of your life on this planet. It's never too late. Okay, so if you never read any of my books, the links are down below. You can check out my books. They are available on Amazon. You can learn how to turn water into wine. You can learn how your mood is your fortune. You can learn how to open the floodgates of abundance. Okay. You can learn about the secret vagina, mystery of the virgin birth. That's the last book I would have written where I mentioned my experience of the birth from the skull in that book. So you can get those books. They are available on Amazon. Also, if you like to do a one-on-one with me, you can book a one-on-one with me and we can go deeper down the rabbit hole. Okay, you can book a one-on-one with me on an app called Faithia. The link is down below. Or you can just send me an email and we can arrange a one-on-one. We can do a one-on-one on Zoom, or we can do a one-on-one on WhatsApp. Whichever platform you choose for us to do a one-on-one, we can do a face-to-face one-on-one. Okay, and we can go deeper down the rabbit hole. Also, if you like to become a part of my Patreon community, you are welcome. I have a course there for people donating $20 or more. It's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that, I have a bonus course on self-concept. So if you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole concerning how rearranging your mindset is important to be a winner in life and live the best version of your life on this planet, I'll definitely encourage you to check out, my description and definitely let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I just want to say peace. Love you all. Out.